have a scoring potential which averages 27 points per match in the last 8 games. So they're aware that Australia's credentials are on the line. Now, the Widnes side has come out, and they're in white uniform with a black stripe down the shoulder and down the arms. A good crowd in attendance here too, very good. And some, well, there are some of the Australian players who aren't playing tonight, some of the Test players. I noticed with interest not so long ago too, Craig Johnson, one of who must be one of the most avid rugby league fans over here. The famous, there he is at the back with a very curly hair, sitting there very objectively looking at the game. The Liverpool soccer player that's done so marvellously well. And the referee we're going to have a look at in a moment. There's a gentleman by the name of Mr. G. Berry. He comes from the town of Dewsbury in Yorkshire. We, of course, in Widnes are in Lancashire, across the Pennines. And now we're going to have a little bit of business out there in the middle with the captains from both sides, and that's Mick Burke, the fullback, coming up there on the left. He is a former international. There's the toss being made by the little lad. And Mr. Berry is acquainting one of the two captains of the fact that the toss has been won or lost. A few pictures before the game, the press lining up there. Both the touch judges, Mr. Richmond and Mr. Hesketh. Richmond will be with the pink flag, Mr. Hesketh with the orange flag. Mr. Berry, repeating, is the referee. Now we'll see, they are going to cross, so Australia will be starting the game running from left to right. And some of the lads there that you're going to be seeing hopefully in good action. John Bassett there, number 5 you saw, is one player that I mentioned earlier that the rumour is that the English coach, Maurice Bamford's come to have a good close look at him for a wing spot. And Harry Pinner, the lock forward, who's a smart player, playing at lock forward, is another one that is allegedly under scrutiny tonight. All right. Terry Lamb, with the assistance of Benny Elias, getting the ball on the mound there. And a good crowd too in attendance. They've come in late. There's this miracle of crowds over here. There were half an hour ago there were 1,000 people on the ground. Now we've got what must be very nearly a capacity ground. I would estimate somewhere in the order of 9,000 or 10,000 people. Anyway, there they go, and Lamb gets it down deep, and it's been fielded there by Myler. And he's gone for a risky long pass right from the outset. That's the fullback, Mick Burke, chiming in. We're locked in their quarter. Bit of strong play there. Some strong defence. Up they come now with Steve O'Neill, prop forward. He's been the sort of linchpin of this Widnes pack for a long while. First penalty of the match inside the 5. Nobody's arguing with that. They were up very quickly. It seemed a slightly tardy pass from dummy half there, and some of the boys broke the gun. And there goes a late replacement on the side, Barry Dowd, taking the kicks for line. It's a pretty useful kick, a gain of about 24 metres there. Through they come now. Mike O'Neill, the other prop. There are 2 O'Neills in the side, both props. Out they come now. Pinner trying to weave his way through the middle. Got his arms free. Had a runner on the left. Couldn't quite slip the pass. The defence came in solidly the last second. They're around about halfway now. Spinning it out. Myler going for the long passes right at the outset to Burke, the fullback, chiming in pretty regularly. Now that was the winger, David Moran, out there to get up and play the ball. Whiting, not as good as some of the grounds that we've seen. Is the second penalty of the match. And again, it's for offside. 2 penalties in the opening couple of minutes. And that would be a shock, would they not be taking a kick at goal. We had the lack of discipline in the Great Britain side, I thought, after 23 minutes in the second test last week, when a tap penalty was taken within kicking range, and I'll swear that the England captain didn't know it was on. The player in question just ran up and tapped the ball, and one play the ball later, they'd lost it, and Australia were on the way to scoring a try. So they need strong discipline. When kicks at goal are on offer in this class of football, they must be taken. He's sort of midway between the quarter line and halfway line, Australia's end. He's probably about 25 metres in from the sideline. He's a round-the-corner style of kicker. Mick Burke is the man. He struck that well. Is it going to the right? It is hitting the crossbar and rebounding into the field of play. Bad luck. Fielded there by Alexander. He's made a good inroad right out to the quarter line. Weaving run there. And good hard running too. And there's a penalty against the Widnes side for inside the 5. A little bit of common sense prevails there. Meninga, I would not suggest any of them argue with him. He does enjoy inflicting pain, does Mal Meninga. As Greg Alexander and Terry Lamb found out in a wrestle I had with him at the Dragonara Hotel about a week ago. The kick for touch has been taken, puts Australia within 9 metres of the halfway line. Alexander on the Lamb, coming hard and straight on the burst is Martin Bella. Can't get the arms free, looking to do it. Tackle about 4 metres, 5 metres short of the halfway line. Elias at dummy half. Alexander out to Lamb. Lamb steps, makes a little inroad up the middle there. Defence up very quickly at this stage. He pulled off the mark, but told to get up and play it. Out to Elias, then to Alexander. Long cut-out pass from Wangmack to Belcher. Belcher got it to Mortimer. Mortimer's going up the side. Strong run by him. He takes it over the halfway line. Good, equally good defence there from the number 12. Coming across was Paul Hume. Again, the Australian pool was starting to power through the ruck and get beyond that advantage line. Elias at dummy half. Away she goes. The kicking tactics. Lamb has found a wide open space. Burke seems to be looking for the winger to get to it. Moran does eventually get to it. He's going to be pinged off inside his quarter. And now we'll see what their options are, whether they'll use it a couple of times and then kick or kick early in the tackle count. Worked it up the blind side on that occasion. No blind side to work at the moment. Still no score in the match. We've had around about 4.5 minutes of play. And back it goes to Burke. Burke with a quick one-step there. Didn't have time to wind up and kick it, but he's kicked it down the throat of Belcher, who brings it up nicely after receiving on the first bounce. He's brought to ground by Myler, who gets a rousing cheer for the effective sort of Cumberland throw that he laid on. Alexander up the blind side. Les Kiss was the man there, the wing three-quarter, who's back after injury. Martin Bella did well to pick that one up. It was low and down around his knees, trying to use that blind side. Vinny Elias hasn't had a run from dummy half yet. He might do. There he goes, right up the guts now. Right up the middle. Could be a try if he can get a pass away. Got it out there to Shearer. Shearer's trying to go round his man. Gets a long one-handed pass into Sirinen. Sirinen's using the He-Man stuff there and battling his way about 7 or 8 metres despite being held by 3 Widnes players. Tough stuff from Sirinen. Lovely run there from Benny Elias. Elias now swings it out to Alexander on the Lamb. There's a little grubber kick through. The Jack Gibson ploy. Could be a try. It is a try to Mal Meninga, and he's been ruled offside. Been ruled offside. Difficult to pick those up. The referee obviously in a better position than us here, 70 or 80 metres away from the sideline. It was a very nicely judged quick. We'll see whether we can pick up Meninga. Meninga apparently to me was onside there, but I'm not going to argue with the referee. Well, kick there from Lamb. Beautiful end over end kick, a tactic devised initially by Jack Gibson. That sort of long across the field grubber kick. Widnes now. Yes, and of course my old freezing buddy. A man I think he's going to go into the popsicle business after this tour, or the ice block business. Graham Hughes, comment?
Keep talking to me, Rex. You're going to keep me warm tonight. Look, I'm going to disagree with the referee. There was no way that Meninga was offside. The Australians were stunned after that decision, and well, it's a great start for this Widnes side, and well, that's a bonus for them. If there is one thing that's going well for Widnes, more than even Great Britain in the first 2 test matches, when they are in possession of the ball, you can understand a pattern of play. They've been working the ball 1 and 2 in, looking for the blind.
Meninga, one-handed pass away to Lamb. Out there nicely to Chris Mortimer. Keeps his hands high. Through the pass, it's away to Meninga. He's up towards the quarter. He could go very close to scoring. He's beaten 2 of them. But the last tackle coming across there, and that was from John Bassett, knocked the ball out of his hands and over the sideline. Very strong stuff there by Mal Meninga, and good play by Australia to keep the ball alive in that situation. OK, this scrum a critical one now for the Widnes side. They're only about 8 metres, 10 metres perhaps out from their line. Being fed by David Hume. And away he comes up the blind side. No room there. They got him fairly close to the sideline. Still no score in the match. Widnes have had the misfortune of Burke having a penalty shot at goal from about 38 metres out, and it actually hit the middle of the crossbar. There's a kick that's way out. I think he's had a bit of a brain explosion with that one. That was nearly into the crowd. So that brings them back and puts them under pressure now. Ill-directed kick way over the sideline. No real need to kick for the sideline. They just need to belt it downfield in those situations. Australia come up with a scrum win, do they? It's one against the feed. That's the first one lost against the feed. And it was Burke who came up with the ball, the fullback. There's a little bit of an opening there developed in the middle, which Wright nearly ran through. But the defence was there. They're moving it up the blind side now. Strong defence there on Steve O'Neill. Good tackling coming in from Stephen Folkes. And another penalty. The penalty count at this stage is moving along to 4-1. We've had around about 9 minutes of play. No score. Mr. Berry from Dewsbury is continuing the problems that Australian sides, Kangaroo sides on this tour are having with referees. Now the tap restart. There's Baston coming around and he's hit and met hard there by Martin Bella. Bella is a huge man. Here he is with another tackle, this time on Mike O'Neill. Phil McKenzie, the young Australian hooker. Up the blind side they come. Got some nice moves. Myler runs into trouble there in the shape of Stephen Folkes with one of his crunching head-on chest-high tackles, which should loosen your teeth. Pumping it out along the open side of the line now. There's a good sidestepping bit of work there by Harry Pinner. Showed a bit of class. Widnes do make an inroad up the blind side. Surinam was the final tackler on David Hume. Myler. McKenzie. Pinner pops a pass nicely. It's gone there to number 12, Paul Hume, and they finally brought to ground and lose the ball just inside the Australian quarter. A promising move. Players backing up the ball carrier, looking quite good. No score in the match. About 10.5 minutes gone. Australia have had a try disallowed. And here comes Les Davidson up the middle of the ruck with a pounding sort of a run. And Elias living in that dummy half position. Surinam, strong stuff. And he takes a power of pulling down this gigantic young player. I know some of the Australian officials would just like to see him a little bit more involved. Now there's going to be a penalty for a push in the chest and an acting performance that would have won the Widnes player, David Hume, an acting award on any occasion that he was put up for it. Should have been slapped on a 402 for overacting. Well, he's always got a job in repertory after that. A bit of a shove in the chest, and he went down as though he'd been poleaxed by Joe Bugner. So that gives the Great Britain side, this is not Great Britain, this is Widnes. This gives the Widnes side the opportunity now through Burke again to raise the flags. And on the evidence of his first kick, which was terribly unlucky, hit right on the black dot and rebounded back in the field of play. This one's 7 metres out from the Australian quarter line, about 15 metres in from the sideline. Fairly windless conditions. Freezing but windless conditions. Burke, very thick-set lad, stocky body. Could be construed to be a prop forward or somebody in the pack. His kick looks pretty good to me, and there's the first points to Widnes. So after about 12 minutes of play, we've got a scoreline that reads Widnes 2, Australia 0. And from the kick-off again, Australia drive it deep. It's taken by Myler. Myler going to go for the kick and chase. It's not a bad one if he gets the bounce. And the bounce was very unlucky for him, but beautiful for Alexander. Picked it up nicely. Bit of bad luck there for Myler. He had everything on there on that occasion. Out to Lamb there to Belcher, the fullback, chiming in. Can't get a pass away. And now Elias working the ruck and throws the dummy again. Gets a pass away, one-handed out to Terry Lamb. Lamb accelerates, goes up the middle. Gets to the quarter line before being put away. One of the Widnes players being pulled off the ruck. That's got to be a penalty to Australia for infringement of the play the ball there. David Hume there was interfering with the player trying to clear the ball away. And now we've got Graham Hughes has got Noel Cleal down on the sideline. I wonder how the Big Crusher's feeling about it all.
No, of course, a few regrets tonight. This is your old club, Widnes, you played for last year.
Yeah, mate, I wouldn't mind it playing. Obviously, if Les had been playing, it would have been better still. But unfortunately, we're both not out there.
Who are the players that we should be looking for in this Widnes side to cause a bit of trouble?
Yeah, obviously, Tony Mola, he hasn't showed much in the tests yet, but he apparently is injured. He's a good player. Harry Pinner, the lock forward, he's a good player. But actually, the whole side, they're not a big side, and there's not many other big names out there, but they're a pretty competent side.
As usual, the penalties are against Australia early on.
Mate, if they had the $1,000 fine on over here, you'd do some day, because they're pretty incompetent, aren't they?
All right, thanks, Noel.
Terry Lamb now, as we listen to the dulcet tones of Noel Cleal there, the Big Crusher. Now Lamb from just outside the quarter, directly in front, strikes the ball well. It is a goal. And so the score after about 14 and a half minutes play is Australia 2, Widnes 2. That was the restart play. He came in as a replacement. He gets the kick for possession. Les Davidson couldn't see it at all, but they've come up with possession of Widnes. I don't know what Davidson was doing there, shielding his eyes from the light. He should have made some sort of attempt at it. But this way, Widnes come up with the ball. Pinner got a pass away. It's been intercepted by Elias. Pinner is a player always looking to get the ball away. He's a man that can make an outside support look very good. Stephen Folkes, strong, 10-metre bust, up towards the halfway line. There's Langmaker dummy half. Away they go to Bella. He's playing strongly on the edge of the ruck. He likes to run about 7 or 8 metres off the edge of the ruck. Out to Lamb, a long floating pass, and Mortimer couldn't handle that, and up they've come with possession. It wasn't a great pass from Lamb, but Barry Dowd's come up with a possession for the Widnes side. They're around about halfway. And they go on the open side, but not much support there for O'Neill as he came flying through and tried to get through the tackle of Folkes. No way there. Now they spin it out. Along the line they go out to Myler. Myler to Burke. Burke gets a pass away to number 3 there, Wright, Darren Wright. He got the grubber kick in. It's going to be picked up there by Burke. Burke gets a pass away to a support. That's out to Moran, the winger, and he didn't appear to be ready for that. And as a result, he was very quickly put down. Australian player down at the moment, Graham Hughes.
Looks to me to be Steve Folkes. No, Steve Folkes is still out here wide. He's lying away from us, Rex, and I can't see his number. Just
keep your eye on him. I can't pick him up from here either. It's anyway, it's the Widnes side now going for the kick downfield. Looks like it could be a good one. It is a magnificent low trajectory grubber kick. Les Kiss, is it, the man that's injured? And the way he's lying looked a bit fraught with me because he's had shoulder trouble. Anyway, we shall see. But that was a grand kick put in by Widnes. Grand kick put on by Widnes. They've taken play to within 10 metres of the Australian line. Alexander comes up with a win, though, through the efforts of his hooker, Benny Elias. Now Shearer running from dummy half. Just a bit softer defence there. He made a very easy 8 or 9 metres there. Wingers shouldn't be allowed that sort of latitude. Davidson on the burst. Straight and hard over the quarter. There's Kiss up and limping. And out it comes to Belcher. Belcher's going for the kick downfield. It's gone very high. It's going to be attempted to be taken by Bastard. Oh, he didn't go for it at all. He just let it bounce in front of him. Burke's made a meal of it. The ball's lying free and loose. Picked up by Bastard now. And it's going to be a knock-on. Really, I don't think that Bastard's going to do his England chances any good with not going for a ball that's kicked to him like that. He just sort of pulled his hands away. And there's a scrum penalty against the Widnes side. And it's a differential penalty, of course. 2-2 the score. About 16 and a half, 17 minutes play gone. You wouldn't want to know who my statistician is tonight. One of the oldest journalists in the Southern Hemisphere, Alan Clarkson. And really, I've had to sharpen him up in his mathematics. It's a little bit funny. Anyway, he's a nice man. And he needs the money. OK, Australia up towards the Widnes quarter line. Recollect that score 2-2 at this stage. Here's the blindside move coming up. And it's a penalty being awarded against the Widnes three-quarter right, who was way up, according to the referee, offside. I'm inclined to be totally in agreement with him there. He looked about 4 or 5 yards in front of his teammates. And that was a little bit dumb, because this is a kick that Terry Lamb would normally throw over. It's only about 12 metres out and about, what, 5 metres off centre. Matter of fact, you could bet odds on this ball going right out of the ground, I would think. And what's the story with Les Kiss? Graham, was it a shoulder or he was limping?
No, when they put that kick through on that far touchline, he copped a kick himself to the left knee. Just a bit of bruising. I've just been noticing now sprinting up and down the far touchline, trying to loosen and stretch right out. They're keeping their eye on him, but he should be fine.
That's good news. Now Terry Lamb, from that very simple kick I've described, is going to attempt to make it forward to Australia. And then he comes, short run. Never varies his technique, and there she goes. And it just failed to go right out of the ground, hit the top of the grandstand and came back down. So, after 19 minutes of play, Australia 4, Widnes 2. Okay, let's see who they go now. It's Wright getting the kick off. It wasn't a bad one. Now let's see. Belcher takes it, stands his ground well, and then does the clever thing and falls down so to avoid the tackler coming over the top. On to Stephen Folkes, the pocket dynamo, who's only short and not all that heavy, but enormously powerful. Gets to his feet. Elias. Out they go to Alexander. Suranen with a high knee action there. Punches his way through. Releases his hands onto Elias. Switches the play back to Alexander. Alexander gets it out there to Mal Meninga. He's running. Gets it away to Les Kiss. Kiss goes through a little bit of ineffective tackling there, but finally put down by the support coming across in the shape of Barry Dow. Now they're over the halfway line. Onto Bella. He elects to throw the dummy. Oh, he's got a beautiful pass away to Davidson. Davidson got a bad pass away. Not on. That's not good football by Davidson. He knew that he was half down. He should not have gone for the attempt there. He should have died with that ball. They probably would have scored from the ensuing play the ball. But you can't put old heads on young shoulders. Now scrum going down with a feed to the Widnes side. David Hume feeds it. Good strong push on, but nonetheless Burke standing up as a 5'8". Bit of shepherding there. God spare me days. You'd swear he was out on the sheep country there, as so much of a shepherd it was. Now Myler standing in the ruck. I wish Mr. Berry had watched those sorts of things. That was a pretty horrendous bit of work, that one. Pretty horrendous. Widnes still just outside their quarter. They've shown a little bit more flair now. They're going to be penalised. So instead of receiving a penalty for an atrocious shepherd, they've been penalised themselves for failure to get back the required distance. The penalty count at the moment is 6-4 in Widnes' favour. Now Burke, the rather husky figure of Burke, comes up to take the kick. He's got a decent sort of a boot on him. Lumps that over into the crowd. Well and truly over the sideline. A gain of about 18 metres. And here they come, moving it out wide. There's O'Neill coming through. Steve O'Neill. An old-fashioned type of a prop. Out they come, along the three-quarter line now. Oh, and a strong shoulder attempted charge by Meninga, but it didn't miscued a little bit. And through came Air. Pinner trying to stand on the tackle and offload, but he gets strongly put down. Midway between the halfway and the Australian quarter. And they go to David Hume. His kick is charged down, the regather. It shouldn't be 6 to go. There's another awful pass. Got to Meninga out there to Kiss, and Kiss trips and falls as he comes to the defence, but Australia in possession. Now that should be a penalty for stealing the ball, and Kiss is in trouble again. He's down, not got to his feet since the tackle. It will be a penalty, and they're calling for a stretcher. So let's have a look at the replay on that if we can, to pick up exactly what the problem was. Now here he goes. There's the pass given by Davidson out there, and out she goes to Les Kiss. He props, comes back, and it looks to me as though he's pulled a hammy. It looks to me as though he's gone in the hocks. Well, there goes the Australian doctor having a bit of a sprint out there at the moment. And the pass was given to him incidentally by Paul Langmack, not Davidson, but there was nothing wrong with the pass. He accepted that, ran on about 4 or 5 metres, appeared to be trying to step, and either a knee's gone or he's done a hamstring, because...
Hey, wait a minute.
So, well, it could be something to do with the knee that he injured about 5 minutes ago. There was an element of concern by some of the Australian players there. He's holding the back of his left knee with his hand, or it could be the lower hamstring. So it's not a bad sort of a replacement to bring on, is it? We see Brett Kenny coming out there, and this man is in superb form. His defence in the second test was just spot on.
I've travelled.
All right, we're back to the action. The kick has been taken. Australia up on the Widnes quarter line. We've had about 27 minutes of play. Now let's see what they can do with this lot. They've got them about 18 metres out from the quarter line. Benny Elias is at dummy half. Langmack switching the play across the ruck. Gets it away to Sirinan, tearing his way. That's the goal line. You can see only a few metres away in front there. Langmack, the dummy half, pops it out to Terry Lamb. Lamb goes for a long floating pass out to Meninga. Meninga straightens it up. Can't stand on the tackle and offload. He does now. Gets it away to Benny Elias. Elias has evaded 2, 3. Gets a pass away beautifully to Alexander, who runs in a big circle. Comes back, falls. He's going to... I thought he even lost that ball at the end of that tackle there, but the referee was unsighted on that. Away to Benny Elias. Elias turns it back inside, and it's gone away across the ruck to Sirinan. Sirinan stands in a tackle, gets it there. It was knocked down by Alexander, but well, there was no knock on it. The ball went backwards. An astonishing decision. The ball went backwards. He wasn't propelled towards the opponent's goal line. We've got a touch judge in at the moment, reporting something or other. Your guess is as good as mine. OK, Graham, I think you've got some news on Les Kiss. The latest is?
The latest is that it was that left knee that he damaged earlier on. He spoke to Larry Britton, the trainer, when he went out, and that's why the immediate call for the stretcher was. He felt something go. Definite ligament trouble to his left knee.
Oh, well, that's a great misfortune. If he's got ligament trouble, he's probably out for a fairly lengthy period. Well, the referee has overruled or not concerned himself with whatever the decision was by the touch judge. Widnes have come up with the ball, and there's a strong bit of defence by Terry Lamb there. An actual loss of ground there from Hume. Coming up the blind side, but look at that defence coming in from Stephen Folkes, belting in hard around the Chester region. Langmack there too. Hume away to O'Neill. He's put down. That's Steve O'Neill, one of 2 in the team. 4-2 Australia lead. And a penalty fairly predictably against Australia. And that penalty count has moved on to 7-5 in Widnes' favour. All right, the kick and touch has been taken. Basnett runs it from the tap. And McKenzie, who's done pretty well at dummy half, I think. And there's a switch of play across the ruck to Pinner. You get a long one out there. There's no room on the sideline because there was plenty of defence coming across from Dale Shearer. Les Davidson fell over on his own there, and he's haste to turn and get back. Moving it out. Hume, Bell on the ground, picked up beautifully by Elias. Elias gets it away to Lamb. Lamb's on the boil, gets a pass away. It's gone to ground. It's come up to the Widnes side, and again, Terry Lamb panicking at the last moment, trying desperately to get a pass away when there was no necessity to do it. So they're really creating problems with some bad passing at different times. To Widnes' credit, they've kept on spinning the ball around. They're making it an attractive game to watch. Plenty of ball movement. They are having a little bit of trouble getting beyond the Australian defence. There's a miler kick. Goes to Belcher. Takes it his own side of halfway. He evades. No, he doesn't. He gets a pass away, though, to Brett Kenny, and Kenny comes up and dummies to go to Lamb. Makes a beautiful break and then is picked off in the defence there by, I think that was number 4, Dowd, Barry Dowd. Still punching away up the middle of the ruck, the Australian forwards. Elias doing a lot of talking. The Australian captain. Mortimer to his feet and played it. Then there's Bella. Bella going right through the middle of the ruck and stumbles just as he was setting himself to offload. Benny Elias. Dummy half. There's the switch across the ruck to Sirinan. Could be a try coming up here. Sirinan gets a bad pass away again. It's gone along the ground and it's had to be picked up there, but it was done well. There's the ball stolen. The referee's not going to rule on that. Gee, please. I think they've got this bloke from the Deaf, Dumb and Blind Institute, really. Some of the things you've seen. That ball was dead set stolen from an Australian player, and that tackle, that was a shonky bit of refereeing. Now they're trying to work the play out from their quarter. This Widnes side don't need any help from the referee. They've done a pretty good job on their own. They're not a bad football team, let me tell you. They're putting up a far better performance than some of the other sides that we've seen go around. Belcher. Oh, Kenny trips. Here's something on for Great Britain now. The pass has gone out to Moran. David Moran. He's going to be run down by Alexander, though. Great pace shown by the Australian halfback. Misfortune there for Australia because the ball ricocheted and Kenny fell over. But then it came to Moran. He was picked off. Now they're spinning it out wide. It's gone out to the outside backs, and there's Air. Comes up with a... it's not Air, it's Paul Hume. And he's hit very, very hard in defence there by Chris Mortimer. Widnes side doing it nicely with Pinner trying to offload again. And the crowd will scream for that. It was not a punch, it was an attempt to get the ball from his grasp. McKenzie runs from dummy half, out to Myler. Myler cut out pass, beautifully pulled in by Burke. Burke gets a pass by on the outside, but the support was there, the defence was there. That was John Baston. I'm sorry, it was Moran, the right winger, appearing at the end of that pass. They've shown a lot of flair, Widnes, but players prepared to... Oh, an awful pass, beautifully picked up by Myler. There's a little kick through. It's going to be a race for Belcher. Belcher half volleys it, breaks into the clear. He's got pace, this man. They shouldn't let him run. Offloads nicely to Lamb, and Lamb puts it down. Well, Terry Lamb, in the space of 7 minutes, has bombed a try by passing at the wrong moment. And he's just put out a pass which I thought was eminently catchable. He likes to back up. He's a great support player, but not having a vintage game in the opening stanza of this match. 4-2 Australia lead. Another scrum win to the Widnes side. The scrums we've had have been won to the extent of 5-1 in favour of Widnes, and there's been 1 to Widnes against the feed. So that allied to a 7-5 penalty count. And now we're going to touch judge in. Make it look a pretty ordinary performance by Australia at this stage. Now we'll see the reason for this penalty coming up. Pinner turns the ball away. Out it goes to the support. In comes Langmack with a swinging left arm. No worries about that. Correct decision. Let's hope they're consistently done throughout. Now Burke from 10 metres outside the Australian quarter, and I would estimate about 10 metres in from the sideline. He's going to try to make it 4-all at half-time. Or coming up towards half-time anyway. What have we got, about 30 minutes gone now? All right. OK, Burke, from the dimensions I've described, is going to have a look at this. He strikes it well. It's coming down on the left-hand side. Fielded by Shearer. Shearer's on the move. He's running way across field. Looks for support. Couldn't get the pass away at the end product. Still inside the quarter. Surinam getting through some powerful stuff in the Australian forwards. Elias living in that dummy half position. Away to Martin Bella, who is equally playing strongly the Australian side. Defence up very quickly, folks. No room to move. That was not a 5-yard ruck. Benny Elias throws a dummy and goes from there. Gets an inroad, get a good inroad there too, and he gets it onto Folks. Folks looking for support, and they're up to halfway. A couple of very effective runs by Benny Elias. Folks now to Elias, out to Lamb. Lamb's gone for the kick downfield. Belcher's going to be called offside if he gets to the ball. Myler fields it and gets it behind his leg, and he's tackled by Alexander, and now there's going to be a penalty awarded against well, the referee spoke to Belcher on the way through there. It was a marginal offside if it was. Touch judge in at the moment to report another incident, perhaps. No, he's pointing to a Widnes player. Yes, Graham, your view?
Both touch judges picked up number 12 for Widnes, Paul Hume. Lamb was hit very, very late and high after he got his kick in. He's turned it around.
All right, he's turned the decision around, so that's something that's not in the rule book in Australia, but there it is. Now, evidently, I was following the play. Lamb has been hit in back play after the kick, and this is going to give him a very simple kick from only about 15 metres out, and perhaps about the same distance off centre. Good crowd here at Widnes, enjoying A game that's had plenty of ball movement. 4-2 the score at present as Lamb lines this one up. He's kicked 2 from 2. Yes, you might hear the rat-tat-tat-tat-tat of a typewriter going in the background of this broadcast. I am sitting in the position occupied by the press of both nations, and I would suggest there's something in the order of about 15 of them sitting along here, all writing their stories for tomorrow. Terry Lamb moving in. Strikes that. It's no goal. It's hooked away, and that is a great let-off for the Widnes side, and a bit of a blot on Terry Lamb's escutcheon. 3 minutes of play. Australia retain that lead 4-2. The drop out from the quarter to Belcher. Belcher finds Shearer on the run around. Shearer now got himself going straight. And he's whacked on the pace, and he's come up very strongly and run straight into the support player there that was trying to tackle him head on. He's trying to work play up towards the halfway line. They've got 2 sides of the ruck to work now. Elias swivels, gets it away to Bella. Bella's hit hard. Richie Ayres there, the tackler. Out they go again. Lamb goes for the kick straight downfield. Found the wide open spaces. Burke is not there at home. Alexander's going to try to get there, and he just scurries it over the dead ball line. A good plan move there by Lamb and Alexander, occupying very, very fast with the occasion of Alexander's very fast sprint there, put Burke under enormous pressure because he was up in the 3-quarter line. And left a wide open space at the back. The drop kick. Oh dear. Not an easy one for Alexander to try to field. It fell in front of him. It's been fielded by Belcher. 4-2 the score. Belcher up towards the quarter line. Elias on the blind side to Sirinen. Sirinen tearing his way through, but they've got to sustain the pressure without giving silly passes at the end of it. Elias turns it away to Folkes. Folkes on the tear. He's going close. It's on to, I think that's Martin Bella. He's pulled down only about 3 metres out. Vinny Elias might well go himself here. No, he doesn't. Gets it to Alexander. Alexander weaving and dumbing. Gets it away there to Folkes. Folkes has gone for a grubber kick, which has been kicked ahead again by Lamb and over the dead ball line. I don't know why Folkes tried to kick there. It wasn't the 6th tackle as far as I'm aware. There was just a lack of sustained pressure. I'm sure his coach will talk to him about that one. There was no necessity. All he needed to do was to take the tackle and get up again. From the tap restart, away comes Stephen O'Neill. He's played strongly in the Widnes pack. Australian defence moving up a bit quick out there. Mal Meninga could have been pinged for offside there. Referee Mr. Berry overlooks that. Widnes about 15 metres outside their quarter now. They trail 4-2. Tough running and tough defence by Folkes. Gee, for a moderate-sized forward, he's enormously powerful. He stood in front there and just didn't move an inch. Down the field goes the kick from Barry Dowd. It's going to be fielded nicely by Brett Kenny, who came on as a replacement for the injured Les Kiss. Good tackle from Darren Wright puts him down 10 metres from the halfway line. Now Meninga running from dummy half onto Belcher. He slips and falls just at the critical moment. Benny Elias. Les Davidson hurling himself at the defence, literally hurling himself at it. Yes, I'd say you're pretty right, Alan. Cat, my director, saying this is as good a game as we've seen. That pass was forward to Meninga, to Terry Lamb. That one was forward too, so it's just as well. But he pulled back the second because there was one at the start of that in my view, was not an equitable pass. We'll have a look at that on the replay. There was the pass from, this is we're only seeing the second pass here. The one that went to Meninga first was also, in my view, forward. The referee saw only one of them, but that was enough. And that's a good relieving kick, taking play from inside their quarter to back to within 8 metres of the halfway line. McKenzie pumps the ball out there to O'Neill. That's a shonky pass gone there to the support, number 11, Richie Ayres. And up the blind side they go, throwing dummies. Pinner there, smart player. To his feet and plays at McKenzie. There's Myler. Burke out there to right. Right, got it away to Moran. Moran, the winger, has a pass given to him that's a touch forward. I think he was caught in a little bit of a Christmas hole there. It didn't bring a smile to his face. Yeah, coming up to the last couple of minutes to half-time. This is as a closer performance as we've seen on this tour. And there's a feed that's been ruled crooked by Mr. Berry, and it'll be a differential penalty to the Widnes side on their own quarter. I'm sure that the Australian coach, Don Ferner, will be highlighting 3 or 4 passes that were given when tries were on that were badly executed. On 2 occasions, I don't think passes should have been offered. Folkes was one and Lamb was another. They've had a try disallowed, which will be a fairly controversial one. That's a win against the feed to Australia. No, it's gone as a differential penalty. Failure of the halfback David Hume to retire there was the reason. So the scrum penalty going to Australia. We must be very close now as Meninga gets a kick that's gone right over the top of the grandstand with the Bull Boyle long run. He'll have to go out in the street to get that one. Villa pumping it up through the middle of the ruck. Very strong run. It's got beyond the advantage line by about 7 metres. Now, where's Les Davidson? They take it in rotation. Davo goes strong and hard. Not quite as much. Now, there should be a Sirinen or Bella again looking for it. There's Bella looking for work. He's not shirked it tonight. He just needs to sharpen up on that ball ability of his, and he'll be a damn good forward. There's Sirinen tearing his way through on a switch play across the ruck. They've got a whole heap of moves they work. Elias, Alexander switches it back on the inside. It's gone to Alexander again. He's thrown the dummy. He's going to kick ahead and he's going to score the try. The referee has awarded it. Sharp work from Alexander. Very smart, very, very fast player. A player that really hasn't put a foot wrong on any match that he's played this year. Let's see it again. This is from out on the quarter line. As Benny Elias gets it away to Alexander. He dummies. Got right through the gap there. He's just too much pace for the players in contention. Burke tried to knock down the kick attempt of his. He gets a hand to it, and that is a totally legitimate and very good try by the sharp young halfback. So the score now has moved on to 8 points to 2, with a kick at goal to follow. Now there's the long, strong arm of the law, you can see, looking intently at the game. But Terry Lamb, meanwhile, that's the quarter line. He's taken it back 4 metres from that, about 12 metres into the sideline. Strikes the ball and up she goes, and away she goes to the right, just a fraction. So it's 8 points to 2 in Australia's favour, with time nearly up. There it is in the background. So the scoreline now 8-2 at half-time, as close a contest as we've had in this match so far. The penalties are in favour of the Widnes side by 10-7. The scrums have gone 5-1 to the Widnes side, which was a hell of a shock. And the one scrum against the feed also went to the Widnes side. The try scorer was, the sole try scorer was Greg Alexander. Terry Lamb has come up with 2 conversions for the Widnes side. Burke has got the 1 penalty goal. He had the misfortune to hit the post with another one. So the half-time score as we take a break is 8-2 Australia. Don't go away. We'll be right back with the action of the second half. And back they come after second half, or after half-time, and I'll be bound that Don Ferner's had a few things to say about pushing passes at stupid times, because they really have butchered a few golden opportunities when they had tackle count to play with, and got within close proximity of the line, and have squandered possession with silly passes at critical moments. So I think that will probably be one of the emphasis that Don Ferner's made. Graham, here's any changes on either side?
No changes to either side, and no further news other than what we mentioned in the first half about Les Kisafir from the Australian camp, that he really has sustained some serious knee ligament trouble to his left knee. OK,
we've got a scoreline that reads Australia 8, Widnes 2. The kickoff has taken place. Australia running from right to left. Nobody needs to be told. They're in the green and gold. And now you see Sirinen running through the middle of the ruck and making a good, strong inroad. He's done that pretty well tonight. If we can just get some of these younger Australian forwards, the Sirinens, the Davidsons, the Martin Bellas, just getting them offloading a little bit more often, Well, a very good second pack. Benny Elias having to take the option to a pass to Mal Meninga. He's gone for a very high bomb. It's gone way over the head of Burke. It's rolling back. It'll probably go into the in-goal area. It won't go dead. He's going to have to run it out of there. He tries to bring it out. He's effectively taken down there by Paul Langmack, one of the very good chasers in this Australian tour. He's always there to chase the kick down. Now Widnes pinned in their own quarter. Let's see whether they can get themselves out of here. There's Harry Pinner trying to weave his way through the ruck. He's about 5 metres from the quarter line. Oh, there's a ball being put down. It's still on the ground. It is still on the ground, and it's going to be a knock-on. I think the referee should have played the advantage there and waited until such time as the ball was finally held by a Widnes player, because that ball was still bobbling around. Anything could have happened. That should be a penalty to Australia. It is differential. The Widnes player on the open side of that scrum swung there and kicked the ball back into the scrum when it came out the Australian side. Mal Meninga kicking for touch. Well, he kicked sideways. He didn't try to create too much in the way of gain. Watch Benny Elias now. They've got a multiple number of moves they put on. And Ferner will be very, I think, displeased if they squander possession here without using up to 6. There's the charge, and Bella really came onto that very strongly. Australians, well, there's the ball over the sideline. Really, I think Don Ferner will be pulling his hair at some of the things that are happening. Penalty there gone to the Widnes side for a push for a player that wasn't in possession of the ball. They're really making it hard for themselves. Now, let's not be any further critical about the Australian side. Let's give a little bit of credit to this Widnes team, who are doing remarkably well. Now, the tap restart after the kick. They're moving it out wide. That's gone to number 10 there, who's Mike O'Neill. He stood in the tackle and got the pass away. Myler trying to weave and come through. He's done a nice run there. He's caught by the jersey from behind with Sheridan put to ground. Elias over the top. McKenzie out to Burke. There's strong defence coming in too, as the number 5 there, John Basnett, was put down tough. They haven't made much ground out of their own quarter here. And back they go now with the ball rolling free, being kicked through. It's still on the ground. The referee ruling that it's 6 to go. Touched by an Australian player in that melee. They're still in their quarter. Widnes switch up the ruck. Caught by one leg. Mike O'Neill very nearly hopped his way into the clear. Just on the quarter line. Out along the line to Myler. Myler there to number 12, Paul Hume, who's standing very wide. But back they go again with an error. And 6 to go again. Australian tackling very ferociously. Number 8, Steve O'Neill, coming up with a little bit of a stepping run up the inside of the ruck there. A bit of a punch thrown with Langmack. And I think it's O'Neill had a little bit of an altercation there, but it's all over and done with now. McKenzie, the young Australian. Oh, very close to an intercept there. There was Mal Meninga on the boil. And again, the Australian defence really tight as a drum here in the opening part of this second half. There's a little dummy to kick, and he can't get a pass away. That is the last, second last tackle coming up. Last one now. On the blind side they go. A little kick over the top by Pinner. Pinner can't handle it. Can't get to it. Alexander's picked it up and brought it back. Now, can Australia retain possession? That's the critical factor. Langmack gets it away to Folkes. Folkes weaving, going crossfield. Needs to set himself to run straight. Then he Elias, the dummy half, wasn't watching the ball there. Bella pumping it up, strong. Gets into the quarter. He's made no errors tonight, Bella. Been very ferocious. Alexander out to Terry Lamb. Lamb gets it back on the inside to Langmack. Langmack there to Elias. Elias ducks his weaves. He's caught by the collar. Swung to the ground. Just inside the Widnes quarter. Belcher's up there. That's the fullback. Lamb goes for the kick down. It might be too far. Much too far, in effect. It's gone way over the dead ball line. So judgment lacking in that kick. Australia 8, Widnes 2. out there. Again, that strong defence from Stephen Folkes knocked the Mike O'Neill backwards in that tackle. If there's a single difference between most of these sides, it's the ferocity of the defence. That should be a penalty to Australia. The ball was picked up in an offside position, but the referee has ruled the knock-on first. It shouldn't have cut any ice. The rule is fairly fundamental there. The scrum going down on the Widnes quarter. Alexander to feed it for Australia. Scrum is presently 5-1 in favour of the Widnes side, and the penalties have now moved as a result of that differential penalty up to 13-8 in favour of Widnes. But the overall scoreline is 8-2 Australia's way. Miley dummies, weaves, runs into trouble, tries to get a pass away, does get a pass away on the inside to Darren Wright. Wright picked off on the halfway line by Mal Meninga, and it needed to be picked off too. There's been a bit of an altercation at the back. It's Langmack again. There's a bad pass gone to ground behind the player and a knock-on. And I think that was Paul Hume who put it down. Careless pass there, right between his legs. Scrum going down just on the halfway line up to Terry Lamb. He throws the dummy and accelerates. Can't get the pass away. There was good defence. Burke coming over the top seemed to put a little right hand into him, but Meninga not worried about that. He runs straight into them from dummy half. Now the crowd really getting a roar going. There's a little bit of ferocity coming into the Widnes defence. Elias, dummy half, gets it away to Chris Mortimer. He's straight and hard, getting beyond the advantage line. Elias again. Bella throws the dummy, looks for support, got a pass away nicely. It's out there to Belcher, but Belcher's pass straight over the sideline and behind Dale Shearer. And again, the Australians bring themselves undone with some uncharacteristically sloppy passing. The scrum now with a Widnes feed inside their quarter. Hume tries to run from there. He's wrapped up straight away by Alexander. Making the job very hard for themselves. If Widnes come up with a try, this Australian side, and get their tails in the air, this Australian side could be in trouble. Steve O'Neill. Yes, of course, the National Panasonic points will be awarded in this match, as indeed they are on all of the English matches of English section of the matches in this tour. The points will be awarded on a 3-2-1 basis. The player coming up with the most number of points at the end of the English part of the tour will have $5,000 worth of National Panasonic products. Marvellous stuff, and a great prize. All right, England was I can get this England side right. I wish England were doing as well in the international competition. But this Widnes side have come up with another scrum win. I think that was against the feed, was it? No. There's another penalty and a walk for descent, 10 yards. So the penalty count really getting to be a bit of a horror now. It comes up to 15-8. Almost approaching the Oldham stupidity, where at one stage they were 11-2 down in the penalties. All right, the kick for touch up to the halfway line. Now they come across field. Mackenzie away there to O'Neill. Goes to the ruck, throws a punch at the Australian player, marking him up. Mackenzie runs from dummy half, runs into trouble. Stephen Folkes stood his ground and belted him down. Hume. There was a forward pass there, no question about it. The referee was right onto it and needed to be, because it was about a metre or half a metre forward. No question about it. Paul Ayres was the player that came on the burst. The pass that was delivered to him was very much of the gridiron variety. Alexander to feed the scrum on halfway. And that English hooker, the little hooker there, Phil Mackenzie, appears to be loose armed. Oh, here we go, another differential penalty to Widnes. That hooker, the Widnes hooker there, had a loose arm in that set scrum and had both knees on the ground. Just astonishing. Benny Elias, as the captain, has been told to get away and not question. Dowd has driven the ball up into a good attacking position for the Widnes side, and here they go. Mackenzie. Mike O'Neill, he's up and down pretty smartly too. Still outside the Australian quarter. Mackenzie. Hume. Pinner. Pinner gets a pass away nicely to Richie Ayres, who likes to run off the edge of the ruck. Second rower. Now Pinner weaves and runs into trouble in the middle of the ruck. There's Davidson there, the tackler. Over Hume. He's gone for the grubber kick through. This will be to Kenny. Kenny evades one tackle. Can't evade the second. They belt him down, using the term literally, on the quarter line. He gets to his feet and throws a punch. Oh, is he... Now, I don't... Really, this is ridiculous. The player who's carrying the football is the one entitled to protection. Who's entitled to the protection from the referee. Let's have a look at it again. We're seeing a replay of this incident. Now, there's Kenny caught by one leg. He's confronted by Moran and half-held. He gets around him. In comes another defender. They finally put him to the ground. He wants to get to his feet and play the football. There are three of them festooned over him at the moment. And Brendan Kenny has gone to the sin bin for 10 minutes in what to me is a horrifying decision. Fairly typical of some sort of the refereeing we're receiving in this country. Kenny will be off for 10 minutes. Now we'll see whether this Widnes side can get themselves into an attacking position here. They're in pretty good shape at the moment. They're only about 15 metres out from the Australian line. And from the ruck, they're trying to work the blind side. The move fell down because Mackenzie couldn't have there wasn't a ball runner there, the dummy half. He had to take the tackle. David Hume working it to Pinner. And now we've got a penalty awarded against the Australian side, which takes it up to a fairly handy lead in the penalties, 18-8, offside in the ruck on that occasion. This one directly in front. And I can't believe some of the refereeing we've seen on this tour. The referees appear to be watching one team only. And this Widnes side don't need any help from a referee. They've performed adequately and eminently satisfactorily tonight. Anyway, getting back to the business at hand, Mick Burke, the fullback, comes up. He's directly in front, 15 metres out, and it is a goal. So the scoreline now into the second half is Australia 8, Widnes 4. Australia playing a man short at the moment. Kenny from the field. Terry Lamb restarts, drives it deep. Myler takes it beautifully. A real basketball catch that above the head. He's come away with a kick through, trying to get to the play. What will the referee rule on there? No decision there. The Australian players come up with the ball on the quarter. Hume's the tackler. They've got to guard possession here while they're a man short. It's Benny Elias was the man. Now Sirinen running hard and straight through the ruck, pounds his way up. But very concerned with making ground and not concerned with trying to get those arms released. There's a penalty for stealing the ball from the tackle play. So this penalty 2 metres outside the Australian quarter and about 15 metres in, perhaps 18 metres in from the sideline. 18-9 the penalty count. And a kick and goal will be taken by Terry Lamb. He's been successful with... I think, has he had 4 kicks a goal? I've forgotten the statistic there. He's had 3 kicks a goal for 2 successes, so this is his 4th coming up. Now, I'm looking at the flags on top of the club room over there. They're just fluttering very lightly. And what there is, apparently, is favouring him. Terry Lamb from 3 metres outside the quarter, around about 20 metres in from the sideline. Taking a lot of time over the kick. It's a critical one. Strikes it. It has hit the upright and rebounded into the field of play, so they're 1-1 and they hit and rebound. Away comes Ayres with a rebound, bringing it up towards the quarter. Recollecting that Australia are a man short at the moment. There's the winger, John Bassett, moving himself midfield, trying to get himself some room to move. He's been one of the players that Maurice Bamford, the England coach, allegedly has come here tonight to have a look at. There's Burke, the fullback, coming through. Lamb has been the tackler. They pick him up and drive him back. He's about 5 metres outside his quarter. Sirinen was a little bit tardy getting away from him on that occasion. Steve O'Neill running crossfield, makes himself easy meat for the defence there. That was Benny Elias. Myler. Quick hands along there. Out they go. But again, the defence out wide is very adequate. Last tackle coming up. I noticed Mal Meninga and the other winger, Shearer, have both dropped back. There's a kick through being put. It'll go to Shearer. He makes a good run, gets a pass away to Belcher. Belcher's gone well. And it's a nice tackle there too from John Bassett, coming right across field to bring it up. Now Dale Shearer injecting himself up the blind side, up the opposite wing, shall we say. Coming from the right wing to work on the left. Now Sirinen charging straight ahead. Goes over the top of Darren Wright. Elias. Alexander. Davidson right through there. Can't get his arms free to get the pass away. About 18 metres out now from the Widnes line. 8-4 the score in Australia's favour. Elias. Alexander. Lamb. Meninga. Awful pass. Half volleyed nicely by Shearer. Back on the inside to Meninga. He's tackled about 15 metres out. Elias. Alexander. Dummies. Weaves. Caught in defence. And that's a turnover. And Brett Kenny still in that sin bin. Alan Clarkson will acquaint us with the fact of his re-emergence in perhaps 6 or so minutes' time. Widnes in possession just outside their quarter, only the one try in the match. There's a pass being delivered out to Darren Wright. At the blind side of the ruck comes Richie. Terry Lamb has put down a player. We might have to see that. We might have to see that again. There's a trainer on at the moment. The no touch judge on there, though. At this stage, it was David Hume who was put down. I only caught it out of the corner of my eye. There's another Widnes player lying prostrate on the ground at the moment. Myler gets a pass away. It's on out to Hume. Hume up the field gets a nice one away to Moran. Moran goes ahead. The ball has been kicked. He tried to centre kick that, I think, and kick ahead, but the ball went over the sideline. And a ricochet off an Australian player. And Graham Hughes, who's that player down there for Widnes?
The Widnes man down is Harry Pinner, and the man that ensured that he was down and stayed down for the count was the man that put Hume down, Terry Lamb, lucky to escape on 2 occasions.
All right, back they come now, working a crisscross move out there in the centre. Barry Dowd finally tackled. Well, Pinner's back at his feet and prancing back to the play. He's been a pretty useful player for them today. Oh, an awful bit of play there by O'Neill. Lost the ball and went straight to an Australian player. Just dropped it on the way through the ruck. They're back in their quarter. Let's see what the tactics are. Lamb comes straight and trying to use that power of his. Martin Bella running on the blind side of the ruck. He's created plenty of acreage for the Australian team. Langmack takes his turn and going through the ruck. They're not having any trouble getting beyond the advantage line, but the passing at times has been very, very erratic once little half gaps have been created. Langmack down on the ground at the moment, receiving attention. I don't know that there was anything untoward in it. Just getting a bit of treatment. We'll see it again. Here he runs from dummy half. And you see if you can see something that's gone wrong with that one. Well, he's not been injured by a stiff arm or a punch. There's no doubt about that. His head may have hit the ground. Anyway, Langmack's to his feet. The trainer has been on. Cleaned him up a bit. The magic water, the magic sponge. He's okay. Tells the referee, Mr. Berry, that he's okay. Elias, there's the kick downfield by Lamb. It's going to go to Burke, or over his head anyway. He now fields it, the fullback. Alexander comes across and picks him off with a very good tackle before he can get outside the quarter. And John Basnett running from dummy half, but not able to make any progress down the field. McKenzie. Oh, and strong defence from Surinam up over the top there. Stephen Folkes down below. They're tackling in twos. Surinam half step there by Pinner. Pinner looks to me... All right, Pinner looks to me like a player who has played in the backs at stages in his career because he's very useful on his feet. Graham, here's a change of tactics by the Australian side. You've logged.
This wind has really started to pick up, Rex. The Australians picked it up pretty quickly themselves. You saw them chip over the top. I think they're going to do a hell of a lot of kicking and just pick up on some mistakes from this, just like this, with this Widnes side. That's their feed now. I think you should be seeing Terry Lamb feed the scrums. That was the mail from Don Ferner to try and settle this referee down, because Alexander was certainly having plenty of problems, although he's going to feed this scrum. In actual fact, they are going to turn it over.
And Lamb gives it back to him.
Well, I don't know what's going on, but a great chance for Australia now, because that kicking game has brought them up with a mistake on this Widnes side.
Well, of course, they're a man short in the scrum, but there it is, in and out. It's been given to Belcher up the blind side. He's got plenty of pace. Runs beautifully. He's going to go close. And if they drag him over the sideline there, it should be a penalty. He gets to his feet and plays it now out to Lamb. On to Les Davidson. He's on the charge, straight for the line. Been picked up an effective defence there by Widnes, about 3 metres out. They stop him and put him down. 8-4 Australia lead. Slow play the balls, self-defeating. Out there to Bellery, works a run around with Elias. Elias can't get the pass away. Very effective smothering tackle coming in there from the hooker, McKenzie. Bella pumping it up again through the ruck and making good ground. They're taking a hell of a long while to get off him. Gee whiz. Quick hands, should be a try in the corner, is it? It is to Chris Mortimer. The referee judges on that one. That was just straight out quick passing, and they ran out of defenders. Widnes out wide. We'll see it again on the replay. You'll see that Stephen Folkes had a pretty strong part in that try by holding a pass up here. And here he goes. He holds it up, pulls a player to him, sucks it out, gives the pass away. It went nicely out there to Langmack. Langmack got on to Mortimer. So it was virtually a Canterbury Bankstown try. Just quick hands up the blind side, with Folkes having the capability to suck the defence right into him. So that moves it along. Australia 12, Widnes 4. And a tough game they've had. Graham Hughes, a good performance by Widnes.
It has been a strong performance by Widnes. I'd like to see this Australian pack of forwards, though, Rex, support each other a lot more with the ball. They tend to run one out. They've been letting each other be posted. And a guy like Paul Surinam, I'd like to see him used a lot more better on the blind side of play. He tends to be running very close to the ruck. Back home, he was running down the blind or even 2 and 3 out. That's where Wayne Pearce caused a hell of a lot of trouble here in England in '82. He should be off the 5'8".
Okay, now Mal Meninga's taking the kick at goal from out wide. He struck it hard. He struck it wide, though. It's gone to the left of the post, so the score remains as it was. Australia 12, Widnes 4. All right, well, that's good news for Australia. Brett Kenny has rejoined the field. He was off for 10 minutes for a vicious assault he made on 3 Widnes defenders. There's a knock-on over there too, which won't have pleased the coach. I think it was Paul Langmack, the player, that put it down. It came to him low and hard. He probably had time to stop it with his foot, but tried to pick it up. The scrum going down, well, about 18 metres out from the Australian line. It's in and out the Widnes side. Myler works a double around move there. And it looked promising for a moment, but the defence very quickly up. Terry Lamb was the man, moving it out on the blind side of the ruck. They've got number 11 there, Richie Ayres, going strong. He likes to run, this fella. Now McKenzie pumps it out on the open side to Pinner. Pinner weaving and dodging. Good stepper. McKenzie comes in to assist. Played with the Illawarra Steelers, this young number 9. And came from Picton. Out they pump it out to Burke, and he's wrapped up in a ball-and-all tackle by that gorilla Mal Meninga, who's a huge man. Meninga seems to be holding his hand as if he's got some sort of injury. His left hand seems to be giving him a bit of trouble. Widnes now up with a few metres of the Australian line. Out to Moran. Moran, the winger, comes back infield. Weaves, gets a long pass away. It's gone across field there. Moving it out to Pinner. Pinner gets it away to Ayres. Ayres onto Myler. Myler runs into a power and trouble and loses the ball in a tackle. He was hit very, very hard from straight on, and Sirinen was the man that dispossessed him of the ball. Yes, that's right, a miler, and he wouldn't have appreciated that from a from a former teammate. Benny Elias making a little bust up the middle there. He's not done that since about the 20th minute of the first half. Langmack away to Sirinen. Sirinen comes under a tackle that looked, well, the referee signified chest high, no argument. He's okay, he's to his feet. Back to Benny Elias. Back goes the pass to Meninga. Meninga again getting it down, way downfield. Nicely taken out there by John Bassett. He tries to come back upfield. He's picked off 10 metres from the halfway line. And what's the ruling there? Well, it looks like he's dropped the ball and the tackle. And that is the reason for the reason I asked, because Benny Elias looked very startled. The referee blew his whistle, and I think he thought his team had conceded a penalty. God knows they've conceded enough, 18-9. Scrum going in. Lamb feeds it, and his first feed is a incorrect feed. Langmack's got the ball. He should give it straight back. There's no reason for him to get involved in that fracas. That was a straight-out crooked feed, according to Mr. Berry. 12 points to 4, Australia. Graham, you've got the news on the viewers' competition in our National Panasonic, haven't you?
Well, while the players continue to argue, yes, I have. All the viewers, of course, or the correct viewer on this occasion, can win themselves a complete home entertainment centre from National Panasonic. All you have to do is pick who you think will name our National Panasonic Player of the Series. Put his name along with your own name and address on the back of an envelope and post it to PO Box 222 North Ryde 2113. All those entries having to be in by the 21st, close of mail, 21st of November. And we'll be drawing the winner out on the 23rd of November, the third and last telecast, the third test here from England. David Fordham doing the duties for us.
OK, Stephen O'Neill is the man in possession for the Widnes side, about 16 metres out from their line. Pinner tries to work a switch of play, does to Myler. Myler gets it to Burke. Burke's got the pass away out there to number 4, Barry Dowd. And he's put down there by strong defence. There was swarming defence. Belcher was there, and so was Stephen Folkes. The wing three-quarter, John Basta tries to go from dummy half. That's the Australian goal line. He's only a couple of feet away from it. McKenzie, an awful pass out to Myler. Myler's going to go for the grubber kick through. That is going to go straight there to Meninga. Meninga fires it out nicely to Brett Kenny. Kenny shows a clean pair of heels for a few yards. He's pushed away by Moran. Now Meninga. Strong play from Chris Mortimer, taking it out beyond the Australian quarter line. Now Langmack taking it up off the edge of the ruck. Australia are in a bit of a bunch at the moment. They've got all their players on one side of the field, on the blind side. Lamb's got the kick, and he's going to find a good distance of ground down here. Got a bit of open acreage. The ball's going to be picked up by Moran. He's got Burke in support. He's going to run into trouble, and straight away it's Shearer there to put him down. 5 metres outside the quarter. 12 points to 4, Australia lead. This Widnes side not disgraced in any way. A couple of players, Australian players, fell base over apex then. McKenzie swivels away with a nice dummy half pass. Had it on to Richie Eyre, and now Hume and an Australian player having an altercation on the ground. It needs a little bit of attention from the referee. Langmack, who's had trouble with Hume on a couple of occasions in this match so far. No reason for any of this sort of stuff at this late stage. Yes, it's a guessing game. There's a competition on. Who gets the penalty? You guessed. The Widnes side. You beauty. Oh, yeah. I can't help it. That's the new catch cry of the Channel 10 crew over here, who are wild sort of devils, but dead on the level. What a great bunch they've turned out to be. They don't like a drink, and neither either. OK, let's go across now with this Widnes side, having some strong play out in the middle of the ruck there, with Mike O'Neill copping a little bit of a lacing in the tackle from Les Davidson. And out they pump it out wide. It's that Ayres, who's had as good a game as any player on the Widnes side. He's a very strong runner out wide, likes to run. Myler throws the dummy. Oh, and he's almost cut in half with a great tackle right round the middle of the stomach there from Sirinen. McKenzie running from dummy half. He's caught, gets a pass away, ricocheted off an Australian player. Should have been 6 to go. The referee must have missed that on the halfway line. He's lost the ball now. He lost it without assistance from an Australian. And he's pulled back by one of his own players, number 8 there, Steve O'Neill, who grabbed hold of him and pulled him back in a violent fashion. And the penalty's been awarded to Australia for dissent, I think. Well, I don't know how an Australian player would go if he was manhandled by one of his own teammates like that. I think you'd see some sort of execution before. Mal Meninga having a good long look at this kick. It's a 42-metre dimension. It's in the middle of the field. Graham, here's the breeze. Is it supporting him? The flags seem a bit wishy-washy to me.
Oh, there's a strong breeze behind Meninga for this kick. He should be able to put this one dead, the man of his size. It's, as I said, it blew up about 10-15 minutes ago, and that's why the tactics were for Australia really now starting to concentrate on a kicking game.
Right on. OK. Well, he's 8 metres inside the half. He's almost in the middle of the field, only probably 5 or 6 metres off. Graham has advised us that the breeze, as it is effectively helping his kick. 1, 2, 3, strikes it. But my heavens, he's got the distance, all right, no question about that. It's a beautiful goal, and went straight into the crowd. That's a splendid kick there from that range. 14-4, Australia have gone away to what they would think was a slightly more comfortable lead.
Man of the match for both sides. For Australia, Benny Elias has picked it up, and for Widnes, Tony Milan.
Fair enough. Benny's done very well. But anyway, he's tackled on the halfway, the little bloke at the moment, and he's to his feet. Long passing coming out there to Martin Bella. Bella, at the moment, he can start to arrive at a ball movement side to his game. He's going to be a very effective forward. The kick has been put down. It's fielded by Burke. Burke got a fortuitous bounce there. He's been picked up and slammed to the ground just outside the quarter. Hume rather, at dummy half. Gets it on to Mackenzie. Got a pass away there to Milo, who runs into a swarm of trouble there. Midfield, just outside his quarter. Hume. Pinner backslammed hard just outside the quarter. Trying to have done it fairly hard on this match. Not ably assisted by a 21-10 penalty count against them, which has rather knocked some of these young players backwards a bit. Well, there's Milo made a break. He's going to try to get into the clear. He's done that, but he's kicked as he did in the test match. He could have had support there, and the ball has now come to Australia with Kenny running across field, looking for support. Throws a dummy, goes under a head high, threw an awful pass at the end of it. It has been retained by Australia, but that pass was a non-event, and that's where they've let themselves down. Benny Elias kicking for touch. He's going to find touch, is he, or is it going to roll straight down the field? It'll probably go into the in goal and have to be brought out again by Burke. And now he's driven hard into the in goal. No, it's not Burke, it's the wing three-quarter Basnett who got there pretty smartly. And Australia now right back in a strong attacking position, but what they need is the ball. How can they get that? Well, strong defence. There's the ball being lost, but lost backwards. And they make about a 15-metre gain in that ruck, the Widnes side. And they come away again on the open side. Look at the strength of that defence coming in there. Beautiful tackle by Sirinen, drove him sideways. David Hume out to Milo. Milo gets a pass away. It's gone out to Wright. Wright can't get the pass away because of the splendid defence that came in from Brett Kenny and Les Davidson. Mackenzie drives that ball downfield and over the sideline, so that is the answer for Australia to get a little bit of possession back here. We've got a player down seeking attention at the moment. I think it's Stephen Folkes. And we've got a replacement coming on. OK, Graham, you tell me.
Phil Daly, the man out on the sideline there, the man to come off Martin Bella.
Martin Bella? Really? OK, well, we shall see about that. He's still standing on the sideline is our man. Out there to Mortimer on a Shearer. He takes play up to within 10 metres of the Widnes quarter. Well, Folkes has come from the field, and here we go out to Belcher now. Far from being transferred, Kenny gets a pass away nicely. It's gone to Belcher again, who was twice in that move. Alexander's at dummy half. Out to Benny Elias, onto Bella. Looks for support, can't get his arms free enough to do it. Takes it up to the quarter line. Elias. Alexander, little kick through. It'll be picked off by Myler and taken into the in goal where he tries to run it out. He's not going to do that. He's picked off. It'll be a line drop out to restart play. 14 points to 4, Australia lead. And there they come with a drop. It's not gone very far, but Kenny's going to get underneath this on the first bounce and try to bring it back. He brings it back to the quarter line. Now it's a good opportunity for Australia. Got 5 tackles to go, 20 metres out. Dale Shearer looking for a ball, gets a pass away to Benny Elias. Elias shows the dummy. Attempted to fool the defence with a dummy kick. They didn't fall for it. In the last 5 minutes, I'm reliably informed. Bella pumping it up again, goes through one defender. 2, still going. Good surging run. He gets very close to scoring a try. He has scored. That is a powerhouse bit of work by Martin Bella, who's really pounded his way through the rucks tonight, let me tell you. A very strong display. So that takes it away to a comfortable now 18-4 cushion. 14-point cushion for the Australian side. Relatively simple kick at goal to follow. And now comes Phil Daly onto the field. And here's a replay of that. You can see the extent of the break he made through some what turned out to be fairly parlous defence. Too many players attempting to go high. OK, the news on Stephen Folkes from Graham Hughes.
More problems for the Australian doctor, I'm afraid. Rex Folkes, the man, left the field so quickly that forced that change. Bella was the one that was going to come off, rather ironically. A possible cheekbone fracture for Folkes.
Yes, I saw him rubbing his right cheekbone rather tentatively there, but only time will tell. They can be badly bruised and painful. Meninga with the attempted kick has raised the flags. Away it goes to 20 points to 4. It's rather sad in a way that the score is getting a little bit away from Widnes now, because they have performed pretty well, which is way below their usual average. And that's young Daly catching the ball from the kick-off there. Now it's away to Dale Shearer, his Manly Warringah teammate. Running across field. Time ticking away here at Norton Park. Widnes. Daly coming through the middle of the ruck there, getting not too much in the way of distance out of that run. Meninga goes for the long pumping kick downfield. It's going to go over the sideline. A great line kick. It evaded John Baston totally there. He had no option to get to it. Meninga coming up with a gain of in the order of 60 metres. From the point at which he kicks it to the point at which it rolled over the sideline. Now, can Australia win one against the feed? That would be a little bit too much to ask, I would think. There it is. It's in and out the Widnes side, but we've come up with a penalty, which is as good as. So that will be a penalty against the halfback, David Hume, for failure to retire. The ball came out the side of the scrum and he fell on it. Now Terry Lamb kicking for touch. Now they've got a number of moves. They operate on these taps close to the line. And they can take place on the first, second, third or fourth tackle. Now, there's nothing exotic about that. Lamb straight out to Meninga. Meninga looks for support, throws a pass. It's intercepted. It was an awful pass. It was always going to be an easy pass to intercept, so they've lost the ball on the second tackle. And Wright's the man that came up with it. At the blind side comes Stephen O'Neill, a Doherty performer for the Widnes side tonight. And Daly monstering one of the Widnes forwards there. I think it was Mike O'Neill. There's Mackenzie running, gets a pass back on the inside. Mike O'Neill. Richie Ayres, a long floating pass gone out there to Barry Dowd. He's picked off with a fine tackle. Meninga was the man. Pass gone astray, but fortuitously picked up on the half volley. 10 metres outside their quarter. Last tackle coming up. Now, what's Pinner going to do? He's going to kick for touch. It's rebounded off an Australian player. Straight back to a Widnes man. To Wright, who loses at the tackle. That's the end of the section. Australia have come up. No, it's not the end of the section. Now the kids are on the field. Play will have to stop. Belcher's running. He should just run over the sideline, I think. And there's 150, 250 kids on the field here at the moment. It would be eminently dangerous were it to continue. So it is just it's too dangerous for words what could have happened in the last few minutes of that game. Shades of some of the scenes we used to see on Sydney football grounds. So 20 points to 4, the win to the Australian side. The penalty count was a horrendous 21 to 11 in favour of the Widnes side. The scrums went 8-2 in favour of Widnes, with one scrum feed against the Australian side. The try scorers for the Australian team, and they were 3, were Alexander, Mortimer, Bella. The goals for Australia were Lamb 2, Meninga 2. For the Widnes side, Burke came up with their 4 points through 2 penalty goals. That's been the action down here. I'll be back with our award winner and a few more details.